ever be discredited because of that. I don't think we should ever be silenced because we are just children. I feel like that is powerful, and it is one of the only reasons this movement is where it is right now. I am extremely, extremely angry and sad. And I don't know if I'm going to be traumatized because of this. I don't know if I'm going to have faith in my state and local government anymore. Because what I saw today was discouraging. But I want everybody here today to know we will not be discouraged. We will not falter. We will not stop this movement. Because this is more than just us. This is everybody in America. This is for every single kid who fears for their life. This is more than Parkland. This is more than Florida. This is more than the United States. This is something serious. It is about human lives. Please, I beg and I demand that every single person in power who has the ability to change the fear that kids feel going back to school, that they do something. Because I want everybody to know, I'm supposed to be going back to school in less than a week. And I'm not ready. I don't think anybody here is ready. I don't think anybody here is ready to go back to class and just have an empty seat. And you know that that empty seat is because someone's dead. Because somebody lost their lives. And I don't know how I'm going to cope with it. I've spoken to grief counselors, but grief counselors can only do so much. What we need is action. And we need it now more than ever. Because people are losing their lives. And it is still not being taken seriously. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take to get some people to realize this is more than just re-elections. This is more than just political gain. This is more than conspiracy theories and people trying to disqualify us from even having an opinion. This matters to me more than anything else in my entire life. And I want everybody to know, I personally, I'm prepared to drop out of school. I am prepared to not worry about anything else besides this. Because change might not come today. It might not come tomorrow. It might not even come March 24th when we march for our lives down in Washington. But it's going to happen, and it's going to happen before my lifetime because I will fight every single day. And I know everyone else here will fight for the rest of their lives to see sensible gun laws in this country and so that kids don't have to fear going back to school. Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Sarah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Chadwick, and I'm a junior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. MSD is not only my school, but my home. And on February 14th, 2018, an intruder broke into my home and robbed 17 innocent souls of a chance to impact the world. These outstanding and compassionate eagles left us too soon due to the lack of gun control in our state and country. This atrocious act not only broke the hearts of our community, but broke the hearts of the entire world. We cry, we mourn, and most importantly, we ask why. I've been asking that question a lot lately, and I haven't gotten an answer that has satisfied me. So we came up with a solution to the answer that we would never gotten. And it has a name, Never Again. Because never again should a child be afraid to go to school. Never again should students have to protest for their lives. Never again should an innocent life be taken while trying to gain an education. And never again should I feel guilty to be alive because Peter, Carmen, Scott, Feist, Hickson, Meadow, Jamie, Alyssa, Joaquin, Helena, Nick, Alana, Cara, Martin, Luke, Gina, and Alex are not. That is why we have organized this revolution. For them. A revolution created by students for students. Because at the end of the day, we're all positive, we're all passionate, and we're all proud to be an Eagle. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce my good friend, Sophie Whitney.
Okay, I'm gonna make this quick. Hi, my name is Sophie Whitney, and I'm a senior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, the place I have called home for 4 years, the place that I have felt safer more than anything, the place where over a week ago the biggest thing that ever happened was probably just a good season of baseball. But for the rest of history, we will now be known as that high school where the biggest high school mass shooting occurred. With other shootings by this point, most people would have forgotten about us, but not this time. My classmates and I are probably the most determined group of people you will ever meet. People are talking about how we aren't serious because we're children, but have you heard my friends talk? We're serious. We are here to discuss with our state legislators how we can prevent what happened to us, but as Alfonso said, I'm feeling a little discouraged about that. I don't want this to happen again. I wouldn't wish what happened to us on my worst enemy, because no one should ever have to go through what we went through. 17 of our classmates and teachers were murdered at the hands of a mentally unstable monster, something that easily could have been prevented by a proper background check and a mental health exam. An evil boy with a weapon of war took 17 people from their families. How many more people have to die before something changes? We will not let those 17 beautiful souls die for nothing, because we are going to make a change. We will not give up. This is the beginning of our history. Please be on the right side of it. Help us. Help us so children don't fear for going to school. Help us so mass shootings aren't inevitable. Help us so our children, our grandchildren, and their children after that don't have to march for their lives. Help us for our 17 fallen brothers and sisters. Help us so no one else dies. Thank you. Next is Delaney Tarr.
Tarr, T-A-R-R. As you just heard, my name is Delaney Tarr, and I'm a senior at Stoneman Douglas High School. I'm a senior who, late last night, after getting in from a long and arduous trip to Tallahassee, was asked to write a speech, a 7-minute-long speech, because that was what we had to deliver to the media, to the people of the country. And I realized in that moment how exhausted I was, how exhausted we all are, and how overwhelmed we all are. And to see us listed as these heroes, as these bastions of change, it's scary, because we are teenagers, we are children, and that's why I chose to speak from the heart, because we're teenagers. Because instead of writing words out of an overworked brain, I figured, why not stand in front of these cameras and show them exactly how I feel, show them that I am not a crisis actor, that I am not going off of these pre-written speeches given to me by another person. Because speaking from the heart is what we do best. This movement created by students, led by students, is based in emotion, it is based in passion, and it is based in pain. Our biggest flaws, our tendency to be a bit too aggressive, our tendency to lash out, things that you expect from a normal teenager, these are our strengths. The only reason that we've gotten so far is because we are not afraid of losing money. We are not afraid of getting reelected or not getting reelected. We have nothing to lose. The only thing we have to gain at this point is our safety. And coming here today as a teenager, full of passion, a bit too much passion, was very disappointing. As you've heard from my colleagues and my peers, we've been to many rooms, we've spoken to only a few legislators, and try as they might, the most we've gotten out of them is, we'll keep you in our thoughts, you are so strong, you are so powerful. We've heard enough of that. We've heard enough of, we are so strong, we are so powerful, because that is not why we are here today. We are not here to be patted on the back. We are not here to be told that we're great, that we're doing so much, because we know what we're doing, and we're doing it for a reason. We're doing it so that our legislators, so that our lawmakers will make a change, so that they will take us seriously, so that they will not dismiss us any longer, so they won't reschedule, so they won't push us into another room as they dance around our questions. Because we came here prepared, and we're going to come to every single meeting with every single legislator prepared. We know what we want. We want gun reform. We want common sense gun laws. We want stronger mental health checks and background checks to work in conjunction. We want a better age limit. We want privatized selling to be completely reformed, so you can't just walk into a building with $130 and walk out with an AR-15. We want change, and we know how to get this change. And the bill that was not passed yesterday, that was shot down here in this building, was very disappointing. And it is a setback in our movement. We've been asked many a time how we feel about it, how we're going to go from here, and all we can say is that we're going to keep moving forward because we don't have a choice. We don't have the ability to stop, to think, oh no, we're upset about this, we failed at one thing, because we didn't fail. The people around us failed us. And if they continue to fail us, then they will no longer be in office, because soon we will be given the ability to vote, and we will vote them out, and the people around us will vote them out. They must do right by us or they will lose their jobs, and we have brought that up to them time and time again, because this is no longer a chance for you to just dismiss us, for you to ignore us and keep doing whatever it is that you want to do, while telling us that you want us to be safe and you don't want anything to happen like this again, but not taking any action. To shoot down a bill like that is absolutely abhorrent. To not even give it a chance to be discussed. That disgusts me. That disgusts my peers, because we know what we've been through, and we know that this needs to be changed, that there needs to be some solution here. We've had enough of thoughts and prayers. We've had enough of, we're in your consideration, we're going to think about it, we're going to tell you how we feel because we support you so much, because we know that that is not true. If you supported us, you would have made a change long ago, and you would be making change now. So this is to every lawmaker out there. No longer can you take money from the NRA. No longer can you fly under the radar doing whatever it is that you want to do, because we are coming after you. We are coming after every single one of you and demanding that you take action, demanding that you make a change. Thank you.
My name is Dimitri Ha, and this is an open letter that I've written. To whom it may concern, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are the three fundamental ideas on which our republic was founded. 1, life. Yet senselessly children are dying. My classmates and friends are dead. 2, liberty. Yet we are trapped because we students are afraid of going to school, where we might find ourselves trapped in a room or closet hiding from the barrel of a gun. 3, pursuit of happiness. Yet we are not happy about the decisions that are being made in our government. Our elected officials are not acting in our best interests, nor are they protecting the people of this country so that they can pursue that happiness. On February 14th, 2018, at 2:20 p.m., the fire alarm went off. This was the second one of the day. I had complained to my teacher and said that I wasn't going outside again. It was hot and I was tired, yet she said that we had to go. She was following protocol. Little did we know our evacuation route was taking us directly to the shooter. If it had not been for the bravery and strength of the faculty and administration, we would have walked straight into the shooter's line of fire. And even more of the students of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, myself included, would not be standing here before you today. It is nothing but luck that saved us from being killed, and this is not okay. While the people around me recognized the gunshots, all I could hear was get down, get down, get down, and shooter. Without thinking, I ran to the opposite side of campus, fearing for my life. A school that once reverberated with laughter and inquisitive thoughts now reverberates with the screams and cries of thousands of students fearing for their lives. This is not okay. Trapped in a classroom sharing a feeling of numbness and agony with my peers, our only source of information was what our teachers were telling us and the information that was circulating within the school via group chats. Guys, this is not a drill. 5 people are dead, 20 injured. This was a message in one of my group chats. That is not okay. We received videos from our friends and peers being shot and being shot at, videos that shook us to our cores. Helicopters above us and police sirens ringing in our ears, the sounds of choppers now haunt us and police sirens stalk us. 2 days after the shooting, when I was picking up my medicine from a CVS drive-thru, the cash register drawer receded and made a noise that I swore was a gunshot. I shouldn't have been allowed to make that association. That is not okay. As students, we should not have to fear for our lives. We should not have to run for our lives. We should not have to hear the sound of gunfire on a school campus. We should not have to hear the screams of our peers, of our friends, of our teachers, of our mentors. That is not okay. We are losing sleep. All we can remember are the screams and cries and stampede of feet running for their lives. Some of us are unable to stay awake. All we can do is sleep because when we are awake, we are haunted by the memories of that day, of what happened to us. We can only imagine what could have been avoided if common sense gun control had been implemented after the first mass shooting, as was the case with so many other countries. Schools were once places of learning, of respect, of dignity. They have now become sacrilege. They are now shooting grounds, and this is not okay. So I ask, Congress and Senate, what if it had happened to you or to your children? Would it take you so long to make a difference? Would it take you this long to effect change and create policy and propose laws that could stem the tide of violence? Would it? No more. No more placing nonsensical politics above our lives. No more accepting donations from the NRA, who seem to care more about their right to own a gun than the lives of American children. They protect the Second Amendment, yet the NRA doesn't seem to realize that it was written 241 years ago. During that interval, our guns have changed tremendously, yet our gun laws have not, and that is not okay. The National Rifle Association pushes to preserve our right to bear arms per the Second Amendment, yet what they don't say is that the Second Amendment was written in order to keep and preserve a well-regulated militia. The United States has the most powerful military in the world. There is no need to keep and preserve a well-regulated militia. We live in a first-world country that many dream of coming to. They dream of coming here because we serve and protect our citizens, yet at this moment we are not. And lawmakers are slapping us, students, in the face, and this is not okay. I implore you, Congress and Senate, out with partisan politics. Now is not the time to be fighting over whose views are right and wrong. Now is the time for action. I beseech our American lawmakers from Congress and Senate to stop slinging mud across the aisle and come up with a bipartisan solution to an obvious epidemic of gun violence and mass shooting in America. A solution that will save lives. A solution that will prevent another mass shooting like the ones at Columbine, Virginia Tech, Aurora, Sandy Hook Elementary, San Bernardino, Pulse Nightclub, Las Vegas, and most recently, my school, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Now is the time for change. Never again will this happen in our country, to our students, to us. We, the students, will make a difference. Our voices will be heard, and we will not be silenced. So I say, students, stand up for yourselves and stand up for others. We are the future. Let us change the future, and let us do it now. Signed, Dimitri Ha, Senior, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, 17 years old, survivor.
We have actually one more speaker, with due respect, and then Representative Jacobs and I have a few comments, but let's hear our last speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Tanzell Philip. I am 16 years old, and I'm a 10th grader at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. To think, last week at this exact time, I was complaining about not wanting to go to rehearsal after school and trying to think of an excuse to get out of it. That day will be with all of us and all of our parents, all of our teachers, for the rest of our lives. When we saw this stuff on the news, I wept and wondered how anyone could let this happen, how our government could let this happen to men, women, and our children. We don't want to take away your guns. We don't want to get rid of the Second Amendment. We want things to be done to save our lives. We want gun policies that prevent an 18-year-old from killing 17 of our friends. We want mental health tests that won't allow them to purchase these guns. When did politics and money from the NRA become more important than our lives? Our message is simple, and it's never again. To Marion Hammer and to everyone at the NRA and everyone affiliated with the NRA, we are not afraid of you. We will not be silenced by anything that you have to say. We are here, our voices are loud, and we're not stopping until change happens. Never again will this ever happen to any one of my friends. I will never No one's parents should be put through that ever again. Never again. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, so very much. I think that they have said more than we possibly could. I know that Representative Jacobs has a few thoughts as we move into the afternoon session for meetings.
Thank you, Senator Book. We've had a group of kids that we've scheduled for over 70 different meetings that are taking place here in the Capitol. There's a lot of passion, as you just heard, but I want to share with you that while there is that passion and frustration that things don't happen immediately, that the expressions coming from leadership on both sides of the aisle is that we will not leave this session without sensible gun law changes, without sensible changes to mental health, without the conversation and the funding that's necessary to secure our schools and harden our infrastructure so that, as the children have said to you, this never happens again. This is not a partisan issue. While some things you may have heard today, we know that the way we get there is small steps at a time. For those of us that are on the same side of the aisle and those of us that are on opposite sides of the aisle, I've kind of been describing this as a trust fall, that we are all standing together, regardless of party, determined that something good is going to come out of this senseless and terrible tragedy. It is what I am dedicated to doing. It is what I know my colleagues on my side of the aisle. It is what I am hearing from the Speaker and from the President and from the Governor, all of whom, and many more, took the time to come down to Parkland to see what happened at Marjory Stoneman Douglas, a lesson that they are determined to see will not ever happen again. So, Senator Book, I just want to thank you for the tireless work. She didn't tell you, but she actually slept on a cot last night with all of these children, and she truly deserves our congratulations for the hard work it took to get this done. And again, this is not a one and done. This is first part of a long journey. Senator Book.
Thank you so much, Representative Jacobs. And we are going to have the kids get ready to move to some afternoon meetings. But Representative Jacobs, myself, and some of the other members, Representative Katie Edwards-Walpole, Representative Moraitis, can be available. Senator Stewart, who's here, will be available for questions if you should have any. Thank you very much.